Does your dog only listen when there's treats around? In this video, I'm gonna explain why that happens and how to fix it right now. Now, firstly, the reason is because we are too food heavy in the beginning. A lot of times when I ask my clients, put your dog into a sit, we say sit, and they have to fumble around and do this crazy dance to get the dog to sit. That's a problem, because once you guys get out there in the real world and you get outside, you're kind of asking yourself, why doesn't my dog listen to me when there's other things going on? It's because you're predicating your training off of motivation. But the important thing that you guys understand, we're teaching a dog a verbal cue. When we tell a dog to sit or down, we want them to do that behavior with or without external payment. And external payments are things that don't live inside you, right? So food, balls, toys, squeakers. Internal payments are good sit, right? These are things that we always have with us. And so when you're first starting off with your dog, I want you guys to be mindful of how much Pez dispensing you're doing. For an example, here's what not to do. Good sit, good sit, good sit, good sit, good sit, good sit, right? So you guys saw there, I food paid. So what's gonna happen? Let's say I invited somebody in here to work and I said, hey, here's $100 for showing up. The next day, here's $100 for showing up. And then on the third day they came and they worked, their expectation is gonna be $100 just for showing up. And I say, hey, thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up. And they're gonna be like, well, where's my food? Where's my $100, right? So that's the problem, what we're doing with our dogs. So what you wanna do differently, Scamp, sit, good sit, good place, good job. Okay, break. So the dog, when you guys are training, is registering. Good means I've done well. So I'm paying the dog verbally. High pitched, good. The dog goes, oh, I like that. And then what did I do good at? Sit, right? That's a good sit. For most dogs, that's enough. Dogs love you. They love hearing that they did a good job. Let's say we're teaching a new behavior. Well, Tom, okay, I just got this new puppy. I'm just working on this new behavior and I need to use food to get the dog's motivation. Fine, you could do that. Here's how I would do that without becoming dependent on the food. You come out, I have the food in my hand, and guys, I can use this over and over and over and over and over again. Now the difference is I'm not Pez dispensing multiple pieces of food. I'm giving the dog a little bit of lick. Now these are things that you can do in the very beginning while you're training your dog. But what you want to be mindful of is your verbal cues and the amount of times that you're paying the dog. You can use a yes marker, you can use a clicker. There's many things you could do to capture and reward the behavior at a certain time in training. Now for a trained dog, I will really save the high rewards for something they do really good at. But I can continue to encourage them along the way. So I can say, Scamp heel, good heel. Scamp place, good place. So these are all things that fundamentally will tell the dog, hey, you're doing good, without Pez dispensing. And this is, okay, break. And this is how people get into that loop of the dog only listens for food, right? So right from the beginning, start taking the food out of the equation. So in this next section, I wanna show you guys exactly how to start getting away from being dependent or start getting away from your dog looking like they're gonna need food to do the behavior. And what I like to do is just stretch out the payment. It's that simple. Take the piece of food, take the payment that the dog would normally get and give it to him at the end. But the most important thing is this, okay? So again, this is a trained dog, but it's still the same principle, guys. So did I see the comments, oh, this is a trained dog, it doesn't help. Yeah, it's literally the same exact thing, okay? Scamp heel, verbal, good heel. This is called a duration marker, guys. Good heel. So as I'm in the process of healing, I am verbally paying the dog with good heel. So it's a duration marker. Think of it as a keep going marker. You're doing good marker. Yay, keep this up. Cheering the dog on. But you're doing it in a way that's actually helpful for your training. So we're not talking to the dog and we're telling them like, hey, you're doing really good. Later we can go eat some corn on the cob or some stuff. I don't know what you guys do. But what you're trying to do right now is you're trying to encourage the dog to continue to do the same thing in conjunction with saying the behavior that they're doing well at. So many times, again, to reiterate, I say put your dog in a sit and people have to do this. Actually, this is one of my trainer's dogs. Rebecca, if you're watching this, congratulations. You must have been paying attention over the years of teaching. So if I do this to the dog, he's not putting his butt on the ground. Sit. Yes, good. That's exactly what you want when you tell a dog to sit. Most people out there, if you guys are watching this, I want you to think to yourself and audit to yourself. If you were to hold a piece of food over your dog's head, they're gonna sit. Now this is a problem because the cue or the, hey, I want you to do this, is the food being present. not the behavior, not what comes out of your mouth. So you guys just saw, for an example, I said, hey, there's food. And he's like, okay. And I said, sit, boom, and he puts his butt on the ground. Now that's a well-trained dog who knows the behavior that comes out of your mouth and not the cue of the food. So that's what we're working on here, and that's what this video is about. So let's get back into it right here. Hey, Scamp, good heel. So I just said good heel one time to the dog. I'm gonna come around, Scamp, sit. Yeah, good, sit. Nice job. Okay, break. And this is very, very, very fundamental in how you can start getting away from depending on food. Just simply use less food. But key to that is making sure you're continuing to verbally pay the dog. Because if not, the dog's gonna look at you, they're gonna disengage, they're gonna think like, okay, well I must be chopped liver, I'm not doing the right thing. The other confusing thing, guys, as I'm picking this video apart in my head and I'm thinking like, you know what? The other really terrible thing about depending on food is if you don't have food. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna take the food off. We're gonna see how the dog does without it. But if you depend on food and the dog relies on food and the dog also thinks that they did the right thing with food, if you don't have food, technically the dog would be like, I must have not done the right thing. This is the next step. This is the advancement, guys. Let's say, how do we get to the next step, Tom? Okay, I started decreasing the food payments and I increased the verbal payments, and you know, we're getting good. The dog really isn't dependent on it anymore, so on and so forth. Now, let's throw the treat pouch away. Let's put the ball away. And let's see what the dog will do without anything. And this is your final test. This is really how you audit if your dog is actually listening to you, and how to get rid of that food and how to get rid of that payment constantly and that PEZ dispensing that really disables your training and is not sustainable for your training. So let's do this now. Scamp, heel. So if you guys can walk in a circle, this is just for the heel command. Scamp, sit, good sit. Scamp down, good down, stay. So I can tell you right now, I'm asking the dog to do all these behaviors and all I'm doing is the verbal payment. And if you guys follow the steps that we're talking about in this video, you can get to this point like that. And again, some people fall into this trap. And I just think, if we get out a thing of beef liver for a dog and we run around a room, the dog chases you, we kind of have this false reality that the dog knows the behavior. And that's really like part of the big problem in the very beginning when we're training with food is dog owners think, oh, look, my dog's healing. Oh, look, my dog's sitting. But the reality is your dog is a carnivore, your dog's an animal, your dog's just chasing food. Your dog is not training, they're feeding, right? So I want you guys to have a healthier, happier relationship with your dog. I want you guys to understand your dog more. I want your training to be more realistic, more sustainable, something that you really could use in reality instead of just inside or in a training environment. And these are the reasons why we talked about it in this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and Scamp today. He did absolutely wonderful, and we will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.